our top story has to do with the trade war. Earlier this week, President Trump announced plans to delay tariffs on several goods from China until December 15th. Those delays included tariffs on footwear and apparel. But our next guest says, contrary to the headlines and the delay, the Grinch has stolen the Christmas selling season for the retail industry. That's not a quote. That is a quote. I didn't say that. Joining us now is American Apparel Footwear Association CEO and President Rick Helfenbein. Also joining us is Yahoo Finance's Reggie Wade and Invesco Senior Portfolio Manager Alessio DeLonges. And Rick, got to start with you. And you and I were emailing and texting when the list of goods that would be tariffed on September 1 was announced, and those that would be delayed was announced. And you were very upset. Why?
Because when the first announcement came up, I was very happy. And then an hour and a half later, I was very upset. I actually thought the Grinch had saved Christmas. But when the list came out, and actually, Adam, you were one of the first to point it out, there were a lot of lines in there, but when we got a chance to analyze the list, 77% of everything we represent is being hit on September 1. And what makes it worse is 91% of apparel and 52% of all footwear get hit on September 1. So the Grinch didn't do us any favors. And, you know, I know that President Trump loves the holiday season, but he also loves his figgy pudding strategy. You know the one, bring me some tariffs and bring them right now. Well, our holiday season is significantly messed up. So I'm walking around the show in Las Vegas, which is the Magic Trade Show, which is our semi-annual largest industry show. There are thousands and thousands of people there. And, you know, people are shopping, so they're buying, and at the same time, they're emotional, so they're crying. So we had buyers and criers on the phone because, you know what the problem is? Nobody can make any money. So it's a real conundrum, and we don't have another place to go to buy goods.
Well, here's the thing, Rick, though. We keep seeing all the economic data. We keep talking to investors who say the U.S. consumer is strong. Why can't your folks pass on these cost increases?
You know, in our industry, it really happens. You raise the price, the sales go down. When the sales go down, you start laying off people. And you know what's worse about the tariffs? The hidden thing that people don't see? Our retailers have to borrow money now to pay the tariffs. So they have less working capital, so they can buy less inventory. They don't have enough cash to pay these tariffs. Think about the statistics on this. Take $550 billion, divide it by 360 days, by 24 hours, it's almost $1 million a minute being tariffed at either 25% or 10%. And the administration says, nobody's going to notice? Come on, the consumer's going to notice. Prices are going to skyrocket, sales are going to drop, and the bond market was not wrong. I mean, I'm not one to say there's going to be a recession, but the bond market read it right.
Rick, you talk about consumers noticing it. We're in the middle of back-to-school season, and we know that that often extends into October, as many parents sometimes can't afford to buy their kids stuff in September. So what effect do you think this will have on parents who are buying back-to-school items like footwear and clothing for their kids?
Well, how about this, Reggie? The number one back-to-school item is backpacks. They are now tariffed right now today at 25%. And I went to the stores to look at backpacks, and backpacks last year that were $40 are now $55. So I was telling everybody, you know, months ago, buy your backpacks now, because a lot of backpacks come from China. Remember, this is merchandise from China. But if you look at the stats on that, 41% of apparel, 72% of footwear, 84% of accessories come from China. So you say, okay, you know, Julie, everybody out of China, where are you going to go? That's great. Let's go to Vietnam. Well, the president has threatened Vietnam. Yeah. Let's go to India. He's threatened India as well. So people are putting their hands up in the air and say, you know what? I'll just tough it out in China and take our lumps. So that's the conundrum that we're facing. Scary.
Yep. And what brands do you usually see are the big movers in footwear and apparel in back-to-school season? Because I know we talk a lot about Nikes and Adidas. Well, are there any surprises in there?
There's always surprises. Look, everybody comes out with a hot show. It could be Under Armour, it could be Nike, it could be Adidas. You know, we're not tariffing people's emotions. We're just tariffing what goes in the store, and what's hot sometimes goes way beyond price. You know, you don't have to do that. You just don't have to do it. Yeah. But, you know, we're a little upset here because, you know, we have this Peter Navarro issue. We wonder, is he giving the president good advice? Would Adam Smith really approve of the advice that the president is getting? Because this could very well trigger something bad, and that's what we're concerned about.
We know that you're a frequent guest here and on the other programs on Yahoo Finance. We look forward to having you come back, hopefully with some better news on all of this.
I'd like to have better
Rick
news.
Helfenbein, always good to see you. We wish your folks the best in what seems like a terrible situation.
Tough. It's tough out there, real world.